of all the victims that we wanted to bring to you, 2 of them we'll bring to you tonight. I'd like you to listen to their stories. What exactly goes on in the kidnappers then? How did they go about this? How did they ask for ransom? What does the kidnappers then? So that you out there might be careful. I have joining me, I got Godwin Paul. Godwin, congratulations.
Thank you very much, sir.
For staying alive.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
How did yours happen?
I was actually traveling to Benin. So on our way to, when we got to Okene Road, that Okpela, that was where 4 men came out from the bush, started shooting at us. They shoot at the vehicle. Our driver was trying to reverse. Another 4 came out through the back. They shoot at us and the car got stuck, couldn't come out before they approached us. So they asked us to come down and they took us into the bush. We trekked for about 12 hours.
12 hours in the bush?
In the bush. So we got to one point where they asked us to sit down on the floor. They asked us to remove everything.
Did you see their faces?
Yes. They were actually using this hanky to cover, the bandana to cover their face. But at one point, they got tired of it, so they had to reveal their face. So when we were there, they asked us to start calling our family. So we were all calling our family. At first, they were requesting for 12 million each person. Each.
How many people did they take?
We were 17. It was actually 2 Sienna. The driver escaped.
So there were 2 Sienna.
Yes, coming.
So they stopped in the middle of the road.
Yes.
Okay. They jumped out of the bush.
Yes.
This was what time of the day?
It was around 10 a.m.
10 a.m. This wasn't even the morning.
After the soldier checkpoint.
Okay.
Was when this happened.
So you've experienced a checkpoint by the army,
yes,
by the military.
Yes.
So it took how many minutes after the military checkpoint?
Like 25 minutes.
After the military checkpoint?
After the military checkpoint. So we were even thinking the military would even want to approach us or help us, but nothing was happening. We keep trekking.
Did they shoot at? Okay, they shot at your vehicle.
Yes.
So, but one of the driver of your own Toyota Sienna, or the vehicle
yes,
you were in,
we were actually going together inside the bush. He was the one telling us not to run, not to run. Next thing I saw the man running, and they were shooting at him. But it was later we got to realize that he survived it, severe injury. So that was how he escaped. But we were there with them for like 5 days, and they asked us. We were drinking erosion water, eating rice and red oil, in concussion actually.
They were cooking it.
Yes, they were cooking it, but it was not the kidnappers. It was some of us that they kidnapped. They asked us to go to the fire and cook so that we'll eat. They are not going to kill us. They are not going to beat us. All they want is money. They just want money. That due to the government, that Buhari has caused them. Then it was Buhari's regime that the ex-president has caused them a lot. The person that was interpreting the Hausa for us there is an ex-military man actually, and all of them were calling him General. So his English was not that
part of the kidnappers.
Yes, his name is General. His English was not that fluent though, but we understand what he was saying. So he would just come up and start telling us stories of how he escaped the Boko Haram incident, how he ran from them, and that was how he was. They were flogging us every morning. Like in the morning, they would ask us to come outside. How much have you gotten? If you tell them the same amount, they will give you 10 stroke. Sometimes they will just even beat you anyhow they want to. The ladies there, they were taking them somewhere else to maltreat them, and we were all praying. But at one point, they now reduced it to 5 million. So that was how they were treating us. We were begging them. We were sleeping on the floor. They would tie one of us
inside the bush.
Inside the bush.
Are there communities within the bush that you noticed that are closer?
Yeah, I think it's actually far from where we are. But there are people coming inside the bush. All these guys are called wood. So we used to hear the sound of saw machine. And when the sound is coming close to us, they would crack their gun, go and meet the person and tell the person to go away. And they would just hear a sound, bike sound, and we'd be like, At one point, the men, they were like 10. So we're like, these guys are like 7. We're saying, okay, let's fight them. But maybe anytime we just whisper that kind of thing to ourselves, immediately these guys will just come up and start flogging us. Like, we just want to lay our guards off. They actually maltreated us very well.
Were you able to pay any kind of ransom?
Yes.
How much were you able to get?
500,000.
That's what you were able to. Yes. Did they release you?
Yes.
Voluntarily, or after you got the 500,000?
It was after I got the 500,000. Because it was more like my friends at home. They were the one that contributed the money. So it was on the last day that the money was completed. At one point, they said we are not going home. That their boss is still up on top of the hill there. Because the place is more like a slopey place. So they were like, they have a general. The one that is more than the boss that was with us there. That they will just chain us there. That the things we are benefiting from them, we are not going to benefit it up there. There are people that are coming to buy human parts. That if we don't get to pay this money, they are going to kill us.
And they were saying all of this in Hausa?
Yes.
Do they look like Nigerians?
They are actually Fulani men. They are Fulani men.
But they are speaking Hausa?
They are speaking Hausa. And maybe they want to speak this. They want to talk to
Do you speak Hausa?
Yes.
So you understand easily what they were saying?
Yes. I was born in the north, Kano. So at one, I was even trying to, when you be like, Babana, sorry, please. You know that you are trying to make them
persuade them.
Yes, but they will feel that easy. But later they'll just come up and start shouting, start flogging us anyhow. So it's not easy actually.
So I mean, how many people? So they had passengers in the 2 Sienna vehicles.
Yes.
So I imagine that in a Sienna vehicle you have, give and take, about 10 people in each of the Sienna vehicles.
I think it's 9.
9.
Yes.
So 9 times 2. So you have.
So it's just supposed to be 18.
18.
But since the driver escaped, he
yeah,
did not pass through all those stuff. So we're now 17 of us.
So did they release all of you at the same time?
No, they had to do it badge by badge. So the first badge went, left the place, left the camp, went to one place, and we sat down there for 2 hours. We were even thinking these guys are going to kill us. But at one point, they now brought the money. The money our own family members have paid them, so they brought it.
How did they get the money?
They asked them to bring the money up to the hill.
Who brought the money to them? Your family members?
Yes, different people. I think they went. The family members gathered one place, so they selected a few people that would go and give them the money. So those few people summoned the courage and came up to the hill there. And I think when we were going back, it was more like a straight road, but when we were going, it was zigzag. So we didn't understand it. It was later when they brought us out to the road, and we now saw the road that it was a slopey road down. But we spent about 2 hours when we were going back.
And this was it was deep in Kogi State.
Yes.
You had left. You have left Abuja.
Pipeline, Okpela.
Okpela.
Yes. Pipeline. That's where they call the place. That's before you get to Boa Company. That Boa cement factory. Mm-hmm. That's where they kept you guys for the 5 days.
Yes. What was going through your mind that period?
Well, I was actually just thinking, how will my mother survive? Because I'm the only child. So I'm like, oh God, how will my mother survive? How is she going to cope without me? I was just praying. Anytime they were actually receiving calls, we were allowed to make calls. So whenever our parents...
With your own phone?
No, it was one SIM card. They asked everybody to remove their SIM and their phone. So we dropped our phone. So you just pick your phone and pick a number from the phone, the person you know that is going to save your life. So that was how they used one particular phone to communicate. So you'll be like, when you make your own call, another person you pass it to the next person, the other person. That was how it was.
And when you saw your mom, how long did it take before you saw your mom after you were released?
Actually, it was just one day because I slept at Okene. So the next day I went back home.
Did your mom hear that you were kidnapped when you were in their camp?
Yes. At first, I actually called my friend because I didn't know how to tell my mom. She was not feeling fine. So I told my friend to just
manage it so that
take her to their own house so that they'll sit down together, and then maybe anything that want to happen so that they'll just be with her. That was what happened. And she was having that feeling that something was happening to me. So when they came to our house, she was just asking, where's my son? Where's my son? And next thing, started crying. According to them, they started crying.
You must have thought that you were not going to, get out alive at some point, or you had a faith that you were going to go out alive at the initial stage.
At the initial
stage.
What
was on your mind?
I was feeling. I know that I was going to come out alive because I know the God I'm serving actually. So I was actually praying, and every word of God is pure. He's the shield to those who put them trust on Him. So my trust was on God. My hope, my faith was on God. Also, I know I was going to come out
Did
alive.
that experience change you in some way?
Yes, from a lot of things.
It changed your perspective.
Before I was feeling rejected. Actually, I was feeling depressed. But after the incident, I had hope. I started having hope. I feel alive at one point, and I know God
Con-
has.
Congratulations, Godwin.
Thank you very much.
If there is something that you've learned about, I mean, it's only God who saves, it's only God who gives absolute security. About if there's one tip that you learn from all of these kidnappers, what would that be? What did you learn? What did you think is their modus operandi?
Well, actually, what I learned that you should just, if you are the victim, you should just put your hope on Christ, on God. Just believe God.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen. Just believe God. Just know that. Just have it in the back of your mind. Just proclaim whatever it is that you want to go through. Like, just say, I'm going out from here. Just have that faith.
But in their own way, you saw maybe how they tried to hide where they were staying, how they tried to use a SIM card just to, stay away from
Yes.
being caught. So what do you think it makes them difficult for the security agencies to apprehend? How they operate, the things they do that you think these are, if they didn't do this, maybe security agencies would have apprehended them.
Deep down, they were actually saying to themselves that they were telling us that nothing can happen to them. That even if the security should come here now, they would fire themselves. And at one point, they brought out smoke, that's weed, from cannabis. That this cannabis helped them from bullets. Bullets will not pierce them. Nothing will pierce them. And they have backbone everywhere. They have a lot of people. Even the general was telling us that there was one time he went to Ayingba, that's Kogi State University, somebody saw him and he was shouting that this is a kidnapper, this is a kidnapper. That immediately they got to the court. It did not take them up to 24 hours. They already released him. That he already has his backbone. That nothing will happen to him. That if possible, he was asking all of us where we were staying. I described my own area, my house to him. He said, is it not this social place? Is it not this woman? He described my own place for me. I'm like, okay, this man knows everywhere. And he has backbone.
So he's highly connected.
Yes.